Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera pemirsa Batam TV. Senang sekali program Dialog Khusus Pariwisata kembali hadir menjumpai Anda bersama saya Pungki Inggoro. Pada kesempatan kali ini kita akan membahas satu tema yang sangat menarik tentunya, yaitu potensi wisatawan mancanegara dari aktivitas klub Yacht Dunia. Dan tentunya telah hadir di studio bersama saya dua orang narasumber, seorang warga negara asing yang berasal dari Denmark. Yang pertama adalah Sune Hoipia Rasmussen, Kapten Sail Yacht Norbolden. Hello, Sune.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So, dan yang satu lagi adalah seorang juga kapten dari sailboat Noceanen yang bernama Jacob Udah. Hello, Jacob.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, nice. It's nice to have you in our studio. So, welcome in Indonesia.
Oh, thank you so much. Nice being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oke, baik pemirsa, kita akan langsung memulai perbincangan dengan dua orang kapten sail yacht yang sudah hadir di studio pada kesempatan kali ini. Okay, so talking about your experience with the sail yacht, is that correct? The sail yacht or sailboat?
You can say both.
Yeah.
So sail yacht is like the most proper and formal term, but sailboat is just as good.
I see. So, based on your experience, I just wonder, what was your story before you finally decided to sail to Indonesia, of course, with your yacht? Start from Sune?
Yeah, well, it was quite easy for me actually. I saw the boats online and wanted to join the boats. Started out as a crew member back in August. Loved every minute of it. And then they asked me if I wanted to be the captain of the boat. And then 2 months after, I was the captain of the boat. And I've been sailing in Indonesia since August. And now we're back in Indonesia sailing. And I can't get enough of it. It's just being out in the sea, sailing, meeting new people. It's amazing.
Wow. What about you, Jacob? Same experience as Sune?
So a little different. So I started a little earlier. I started also as a crew. A friend of mine met the boats when he was out sailing, actually also in Indonesia, and then told just great things about it. And then I joined these boats down here, started as a crew, was here for 4 months. And then I went back home to Denmark for half a year, just working. And then they called down from the boats and asked if I wanted to be a captain. And now I've been on the boat, captaining and sailing the boat for 13 months.
Wow, congratulations. So finally both of you became the captain.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I just wonder, so before Indonesia, is there any other country you've been visited? Or Indonesia is the very first time as a captain of your
on the boat?
Yes.
Yeah, so for me, I started in Sorong as a captain. It's in Raja Ampat, West Papua. But yeah, then we started in Indonesia and stayed in Indonesia for a long time. But then currently, or not currently, but recently, we've been up the Gulf of Thailand. So visited Malaysia and Thailand also.
Oh, okay. What about Sune?
Well, so it's basically the completely same thing. I started as crew in Sorong, where Jacob was captain. And then in October, we were in Lombok, close to Bali, and I came on as captain. And then we sailed through Indonesia, through Malaysia, up the Gulf of Thailand, and now we're going back again.
Oh, I see. So basically, you've been go around all of this island in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you think about Indonesia?
Oh, we love it. Well, I do anyways. I love sailing here, love meeting all the people in the islands, and there's so many different islands that has so much to offer. The natural beauty there is amazing.
Yeah.
Really good diving, and in some places there's really good surfing as well. So, amazing place.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I just wonder, so this sailing, do you have any plans before, or do you join some kind of international yacht club and you follow their schedule, or you just go with yourself? I want to sail, so I go sailing.
So the thing we do with our boats and our concept of sailing, we right now we are 2 boats sailing together, but actually in like our club, you can almost call it, we have like our own Danish club of sailboats, where it's the same guy who's owning the boats. So then we sail together. So right now it's our boats sailing together. and then we just ultimately we plan, and with the guy owning the boat, we plan where to sail, and then we have a fixed plan because we have a new crew coming and embarking the boat like every month. So it's like rolling. Some stay here for stay on the boat for 2 months, and some stay for up to 4 or 5 months.
So is that also the same with you, Sune?
Yeah, so the concept is like the same, really. I also have rolling crew, and again, some crew being there for 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. It happens sometimes that the crew embarks the boat, had planned on being there for like 2 months, end up being on the boat for like 6 months because they can't get enough of it. So that's also really great.
All right. So what about the crew? How many crew do you have in your boat, each of you?
So it depends on the size of the boat. So the boat I'm skippering is 43 foot, so around 12-13 meters long. And on my boat we are 9 people in total. So usually it's like two captains, captain and co-captain, or 2 captains, and then 7 crew on the boat. So it's pretty tight. So you live close and you sleep close, but it's part of the charm of living on a sailboat because you get to know each other very well and very quickly, and you get to see both the ups and the downs of each other, and then that way you build stronger relationships and friendships.
The bonding with your team, that's gonna be perfect if you have to been through that way. What about you, Sune? How many crew do you have in your
I have 10 crew at maximum capacities and 1 co-captain. So we are 12 people in total on a 49 foot sailboat, around 15 meters. And yeah, it's tight. I have a bigger boat with more people, and we live really, really tight. And whenever we come across any other sailors, they just look at us and like, how can you guys be 20 people on those 2 boats? It's impossible. But it's a really great experience. Also, as Jacob saying, you get really close to each other, get a really good connection, and you bond a lot. So I think because we are so many people in so small space, you make some really good and deep connections, which is, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, yes. That's going to be the experience that you guys have to go through again for the bonding, the team bonding, right? Okay, so talking about this experience, the team bonding and the yacht club, when was the very first time, if you still remember, when was the very first time you guys sail? You have that urge to go for sailing. Do you still remember?
Oh, that's a good question, actually, because when I started first and embarked as crew, I didn't really know what I was going into because I've never sailed before. But then, actually, for me, it was like mostly the bonding and the way you worked as a team. So when I embarked, the boat was actually on land and not on water, and like everything was just torn apart because we were working on fixing the boat. So when I came, it almost didn't look like a sailboat, but I just still, even though it didn't look like a sailboat, I was like, okay, first I thought I had 2 months on the boat, but I asked if I could stay 4 months in total. And that was even before I've even sailed on the boat, because I think it's the whole like scene of people being together and being close together and getting to know each other and like going through challenging times together and like growing as a group. Yeah, for that, yeah.
That's nice.
Okay, Sune, what about from your experience?
Well, yes, for me, we have this television show in Denmark called Kurs mod fjerne kyster, which is like a family of sailors, and then there are 2 kids in the family, or adults. They go out on a circumnavigation, they want to sail around the world, and they record it. And they make it look everything it is, like super amazing, and that really inspired the urge for me to sail, I think. And then in 2019, I was on a sailing boat in the Philippines, where it was totally different from what we are doing. There was a captain there, but he did everything, and I was basically just a charter guest there. But I like sailing. And then back in August, when I embarked as crew there, I experienced this whole togetherness thing that Jacob just talked about, and right there I knew that I wanted to do this for a really long time.
Oh, amazing experience from both of you. Well, actually, I'm still having, of course, several questions. And we're going to talk about Indonesia from your perspective also. But I'm afraid that we have to have a little break for the commercial break. Okay, so pemirsa BATAM TV tetap bersama kami di program khusus pariwisata. Kami akan segera kembali setelah jeda pariwara berikut ini.
Festival Padang Melang 2024 di Pulau Jemaja, Kabupaten Kepulauan Anambas, Provinsi Kepulauan Riau yang berlangsung antara tanggal 11 hingga 13 Juni 2024 mencatat rekor terbanyak dikunjungi kapal pesiar. Bergabungnya sejumlah boat dan yacht dalam pesta rakyat Padang Melang ini memberi angin segar bagi penyelenggara bahwa event ini telah menjadi agenda tetap bagi klub-klub kapal pesiar yang tersebar di banyak tempat di zona Asia. Selama ini, Teluk Pulau Tarempa dan Pulau Jemaja, Kabupaten Kepulauan Anambas memang merupakan lintasan atau tujuan persinggahan kapal pesiar dari klub yang berada di zona Asia yang meliputi Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Christmas Island, Mauritius, dan klub kapal pesiar dari terminal di Indonesia yang terdekat yaitu Nongsa, Batam, dan Belitung. Festival Padang Melang diadakan pada bulan Juni ini sesuai dengan sailing season around the world di zona ini, yaitu antara Mei sampai Juli. Dalam Festival Padang Melang kali ini, sedikitnya 28 kapal pesiar atau yacht bersandar di Teluk Pantai Padang Melang, Pulau Jemaja. Para pengarung lautan itu menyaksikan penampilan pesta rakyat, musik, tarian tradisional, dan aneka makanan khas.
Anambas is very beautiful islands. We love several small islands, and you have nice water, and we saw a lot of turtles. Take care of the turtles, very important, and super clear waters. And now we are here for the festival, and I see all these costumes and all these beautiful flowers, and so we hope it's very special festival. We are in the rally since Langkawi. You know, there are several rallies, and this rally we joined is from Langkawi, going down to Singapore, going up to Terengganu, coming down, and now that's more than a month. And then we continue to Borneo, Brunei, Labuan. Mainly the yacht rally is organizing a lot, because Eastern Malaysia and this side is not so very used by yacht visiting, and the authorities are not so used for yachties. When you go to the other side, west side of the Malaysia peninsula, you see a lot of yachties, and the authorities are very used to deal with the yachties. So the rally organized all with the authorities, all the park tickets and everything, so it's much easier for us to travel. But the authority here, I was surprised in Terima, was quite smoothly. One day everything was made, quarantine, custom, harbor master and immigration, and very friendly people. So that is a good point. Sometimes you lose 2, 3 days, 4 days to make all the authority. Well, I wish that the festival is fantastic for every people, that there is no accident and everyone has fun. The spectators and the people who make stands or music, that they have a fantastic time and all the people are happy. That is the most important in life, having happy people.
Mereka menikmati suasana Festival Padang Melang yang hiruk-pikuk bertabur cahaya, menikmati instrumen musik, dan menyaksikan gelar tarian sambil menikmati kuliner khas.
We are traveling on a boat here in Anambas. I came from Denmark to Thailand and then joined the boats in Malaysia, and then we went to Tioman, Batam, and then we are here now. In the Yacht Rally, it's about communities making space for each other, having this feeling of togetherness on the boats. So it's a thing we do together. Also a competition, but it's mostly about community and making friends and stuff like that as well. So the culture here is much different. People were friendly in Malaysia, but Indonesia is so beautiful, and the culture and food and the music and the festival now is just really nice. I think it's amazing. I mean, all these people come together for the festival and to invite us in, it's a really, really big thing. It shows you they have a big open heart for all the people here. Yeah, so the local people are all around us at all time, come and talk with us, want a picture, smile and sing and dance and all good stuff. For the Yacht Rally, to finish off strong and have a nice competition and hopefully win.
Dengan semakin populernya festival Padang Melang di kalangan pelaut ini, telah menambah potensi Kabupaten Anambas sebagai area potensial untuk menjadi tujuan wisata kelas dunia.
We've been living for 15 years in Phuket in Thailand, even though we come from Brisbane in Australia. We built our catamaran, our sailing catamaran in Phuket, and we hear many, many good things about the Anambas. So we decided a long time ago that we have to visit Anambas. Already planned to Anambas, and then maybe when we check in Terima, the customs immigration said it's a very good festival. We must attend the festival. So we're okay. We can do that, and it's very good. Yes. It's much bigger and more professional than I thought. It's very, very professional. It's very good stage, very good sound system, good band. I think we haven't really seen too much yet, but I think it's going to be a very good festival.
And a nice way to see the culture, because in modern times no one wears their special clothes, but I'm looking forward to the dancing and the costumes.
Yeah. Very good costumes already. My wife should take many photos of the costumes. I think the most interesting thing is the beauty. The beauty of the islands and the beaches and the clarity of the water. Not so much rubbish in the water. It's very important to keep the rubbish away.
And the people.
And the people are very, very friendly.
Very happy. Everybody says hello. You don't get that much in many places now. But here it's special, I think.
As soon as we arrive in Anambas, everybody friendly, really friendly. The hope is to learn more about the Anambas culture, the Indonesian culture, and other Asian cultures. To also meet nice people, meet more people, and have a good time. Maybe have a dance to the band and have a good time.
Para pelaut tampaknya sangat menikmati suasana ini. Padang Melang Festival telah menjadi salah satu agenda yang akan selalu mereka tunggu. Keindahan pantai dan pulau-pulau di Kabupaten Kepulauan Anambas telah menawan hatinya.
Pemirsa Batam TV, kembali lagi di program Dialog Khusus Pariwisata, masih membahas mengenai potensi wisatawan mancanegara dari aktivitas klub Yacht Dunia. Dan masih bersama narasumber kita, Suni Hoipia Rasmussen, kapten dari Sail Yacht Norbolden, dan juga Jacob Udah, kapten Sail Yacht Notianen. Dan dua orang warga negara Denmark ini saat ini sedang berlabuh di Nongsa Point Marina Resort. Okay, let's get back to the questions. Okay, so you've mentioned earlier that those are so many attractive things from Indonesia that makes you decided to come to Indonesia. Now I just wonder, what is the most attractive things that makes you decided to come to Indonesia? Why not another country? Why not other countries?
That's a good one. I think like the diversity of the country, like it has so much different things to offer. Like you can see beautiful like white sand beaches and islands, and you can have them like all for yourself. It's such a big country with so much to offer. Just you can go to one island, and the next island after that will be completely different and something new. So like no matter for how long you've been sailing here, there will always be an island that like shows you some new and interesting stuff. And then another reason is we talked about this earlier. The people of Indonesia, they live deeply in my heart. They're so friendly, and we always get along with the people in Indonesia.
Yeah.
It's like they are best friends the first day we ever meet them. So yeah, so the people and the diversity of the country, I think, is the key reasons for me.
Okay, what about you, Jacob?
Yeah, and I agree with a lot of the things that Sun is saying. Also, just like when you look at a map over Indonesia, you see like there's so much water, it's so vast and so big, and there's so many small islands also. So it's like amazing for a sailor to go around here, because it's the natural way for me, I think, to visit Indonesia, because you have the freedom to go from island to island to island, and because there's so many different small islands and so much water you can sail around in, it's easy to get around, and it's easy to see all those different places that Suna was talking about.
Interesting. Yeah. So from these islands, which one is your favorite? Start from Jacob first, I guess.
Okay, so for me, I think it's a very hard question, because I would say I have many favorite islands here in Indonesia, and many favorite places, because as soon as they're so different. So I have, this one is a favorite because of this, and this one's favorite because of this, but I think I like to answer the question like which island did the biggest impact on me, and I think it was when we were sailing in Raja Ampat and the Misal area. So firstly I want to mention Wayak. It's a small island north of in the north of Raja Ampat. Just a one-day sailing from Sorong, the main city there, and it's just beautiful. Like it's these small islands just like rising up from the water, just like small islands just rising up here, and you can just anchor in between them. And the good thing about Indonesian sailing is that there isn't that many sailing boats. Like if you visit the Caribbean, there's sailing boats all over, or French Polynesia, sailing boats all over. In Indonesia, you gotta see it almost for yourself, and it's always a pleasure and a privilege to see it like that. And then I would also like to mention a little place close to Misal. So Misal is, if you have Raja Ampat and West Papua here. So Misal is just the island, the big island just south of that. There's a small lake there called Jellyfish Lake. And I didn't know about the place, and we actually heard about the place from a local Indonesian guy we met, who's a diving instructor actually, and it was just, we anchored at the place, and then we took our dinghy, our small rubber boat, to some place. Just didn't look like that much. There was a small sign saying Jellyfish Lake, and then like climbed some rocks, and then we just saw this huge lake. Like protected almost by some small hills, mountains, like the island, and inside the lake there was just filled with jellyfish. As like you were swimming, and you couldn't, if you were swimming in the water, you were always hitting a jellyfish. They were like completely covered in these small, harmless, pink jellyfishes. It was an amazing experience, and we had it all for ourselves. It was like no other person. It was crazy.
Wow. Okay, I can imagine that. That's very beautiful. I've never been to Raja Ampat, but I can't now imagine if I were there. All right. What about you, Sune? Any island? Is there an island that gives you strongest impression?
There is, but it's not because of the sailing. It's just because I've been there so many times now, and I love the place. It's Lombok. I love Lombok. Because Lombok is so diverse as well. Like you can go see waterfalls, you can climb Mount Rinjani, But you can also go into Kuta town, get a really good cup of coffee, and then go out surfing with all your local buddies there. And I don't know. I've always loved Lombok because it's more chill, not so busy, and people are really sweet there. I don't know. We're going back to Lombok in 1 month, so I'm really excited for that. Coming back home, it's going to be so nice. But also the place Jacob was talking about, Raja Ampat, we like to call it the last paradise on earth, because it's unbelievably beautiful, and we have it for ourselves when we're there, basically. Also, there are some other sailors there, but the area is so big, so if we see another sailboat, we'll just go 5 nautical miles south, and we have another place just for ourselves. So, yeah, Raja Ampat and Lombok, definitely in my heart.
All right. Okay, so talking about Raja Ampat and Lombok, what about Riau Islands? Since now you anchored in Batam, what do you think about the beauty of Batam Island, Riau Islands? What do you think about the attractiveness?
Yeah, so Riau Islands, or we usually call it Anambas Islands, it's an amazing place, and I almost see it as my second home here in Indonesia, because it's the place I've been most, I think, here in Indonesia. I've been there 3 times, so one as a crew, when I was a crew, and 2 times as a captain. And it's just you know all the islands, and you know the people who are in the main city, Tarampa, and it is almost every time we sail into Tarampa and we see the big mosque, it's like oh, we're home. It's like you see the mosque and you're like, okay, I know this place, I know where to get a good coffee, and I know where I should get fruit for the boat, and it's good. And the thing I love about Anambas is it's a small sail, so we're not max, we're sailing for a day. But still, you gotta see a lot of different islands, and they're just, stunning, and beautiful beaches, and lovely local communities, and always welcoming, and a local fisherman sometimes just comes over, I have an extra fish, do you want one? It's amazing, and something that gesture, you wouldn't see that in Denmark in the same way, just offering something just for the sake of offering it. He wants nothing in return, he's just offering us the fish because
why not?
Why not? And why they look like they want a fish? It's amazing that the people are like that. So yeah.
So what about you, Sune?
I definitely also have the same love for the islands as Jacob does. They are stunning, and they are so different as well. And the whole thing about Anambas is also it's untouched. There's not big hotels anywhere, everywhere or whatever. It's really true to nature, and I love that about the place. It being of its natural beauty is one of the best things about Anambas, I think, because they don't do overdevelopment. They just try to take care of themselves, and they're really nice people, so that's also a plus.
Yeah, interesting to listen from the perspective from the foreigners about Anambas Island, Riau Islands. Talking about hospitality, I'm sure, and also the beauty of its nature. Besides those 2 things, what are other things that makes people like you decided to go sailing to specific places or specific countries? Is there any other reasons?
Yeah, so as a sailor, there's a lot of things you have to consider. So firstly, there's seasons, so the weather seasons. So is this a good season for us to sail in? Is there a lot of rough weather, or is the wind blowing from the right direction if where we want to travel, and so on. So that's the first thing. You want to time it with being at the right place in the right seasons. And secondly, it's a thing also about how easy the access is to get into the country. So if it's too much bureaucracy and too much hassle and work to get visas and to get the boat checked in and so on, people often just choose to not sail to that country. So a country like Cambodia, we actually planned at one point going there, but we searched and checked, and we found out from other sailors that it was too much of a problem to have a boat in Cambodia and check in and do the visa and all that. So that's a big part of sailing also, to make it as easy for ourselves, so we don't have to deal that much with bureaucracy and different offices. And of course you have to do it because it's a part of the way we're sailing, but some countries are definitely easier than others, I must say that.
All right, I heard that you mentioned Thai and also Malaysia before you come here in Indonesia. So talking about this regulation and also bureaucracy, compared to one another countries you've mentioned before, is it easier in Indonesia for you to come to anchor your yacht?
Well, for us, it's easier, but I also think it's because we know how the system works, because we've been here so many times and we've been here a lot. So we have the whole system on our backbone now. We know what to do, which office to go to, what papers to hand. But yeah, nevertheless, I would say Indonesia and Malaysia is the easiest country I've traveled in form of bureaucracy and check-ins and check-out. People were willing to help us, and if we had any questions, we just had to ask, and then we'll get answered. So yeah, around. I think just the people wanting to help us is the best thing about it.
All right, so it's almost effortless to come to Indonesia. There's nothing difficult, what the bureaucracy or the regulations to come to Indonesia.
I say it's one of the easier places, but still, as a sailor, there's still some bureaucracy and there's still some things to go through. Also regarding visa, it's actually gotten easier just recently, because now more of the visa application system and the prolonging of the visa is going through online. So back in the day, we had to every month plan our route, so we was in a city at a certain time, at a certain month, to extend visas. And we had to do that every time because we had to show up at the office and extend visas. So there was a lot of planning ahead to be at the physical immigration office to extend. But now it's actually gotten easier because it's online, and it's still a new system, so there's still some difficulties with it, and we have some small issues with it, but I think it's normal that they just need to start up and figure out how it's working best. So definitely gotten easier in that aspect.
I see. So what about the sense of security and also the facility? Do sailor also consider about that? I mean, for example, you've come to Batam. Do you think the facility when you anchored your yacht is enough, or is it easy for you to anchor your ship?
So here in Batam, we are at Nong Point Marina, super great place, and they're super professional, super safe there. It's a gated marina as well. They're really secure. They're guards checking, if it's rough weather or whatever, they go out checking all the boats. And we know when we are at a marina, for example, we can actually leave the boats. Because I was in Singapore the other day extending my visa, and I could just leave the boat, and I knew it was in good hands in the marina. So really good facilities here and 100% secure. Yeah.
All right, it's good to hear that. Okay, so you also mentioned about the bad weather and not so good climate, or the strong or rough waves. But we're going to talk about that after the commercial break. So pemirsa Batam TV, kami akan segera kembali setelah jeda pariwara berikut ini, masih di program Dialog Khusus Pariwisata. Tetap bersama kami.
Dialog Khusus menghadirkan narasumber yang ahli di bidangnya.
Wisatawan Malaysia yang non orang Johor juga salah satu tujuannya Johor ini.
Dinas Pariwisata Kabupaten Karimun itu mempunyai target.
Adanya kolaborasi, artinya tanpa ada kolaborasi harus berjalan sendiri, apalagi di unsur pemerintah.
Jadi usia batu yang ada di Natuna itu sampai 188 juta tahun yang lalu.
DPRD Kota Batam bersama pemerintah Kota Batam menjadi tanggung jawab kita bersama.
Jadi KPP ini lahir, makanya namanya juga Khusus. Ya, Khusus itu sebenarnya organisasi yang sifatnya temporer.
Menyoroti tema menarik dan isu terkini yang terjadi di Kepulauan Riau. Senin sampai dengan Sabtu pukul 3 sore hingga 4 sore waktu Indonesia Barat. Hanya di Batam TV, Inspirasi Kepri.
Expose Kepri. Program ini dirancang untuk memberikan sorotan khusus pada berita dan informasi dari berbagai sektor.
Kedatangan Duta Besar India ini disambut oleh Kepala Dinas Pariwisata Kepulauan Riau.
Usai ditambahkan sebagai Datuk Seri Satria Wijaya Negara, Panglima TNI Jenderal Agus Subianto menyempatkan diri mengunjungi Pulau Penyengat.
Dengan tujuan terjadi peningkatan kerjasama khususnya di sektor pariwisata dan perdagangan yang saling menguntungkan antara kedua belah pihak.
Padan Karya Foundation 2 hadir dengan konsep yang begitu ceria dan kental dengan nuansa budaya Indonesia.
Nongsa Resort Batam yang merupakan gabungan beberapa resort yang berada di kawasan Nongsa Batam menggelar acara Appreciation Night di Turi Beach Resort.
Salah satu rumah sakit terkemuka di Cina yang dikenal dengan teknologi canggih dan metode pengobatan inovatifnya, secara resmi membuka kantor perwakilan di Batam yang memiliki relevansi tinggi dengan masyarakat Batam dan Kepulauan Riau. Tayang setiap hari. Batam TV, Inspirasi Kepri.
Selamat datang di Kepulauan Riau, surganya kuliner Indonesia. Kepulauan Riau tak hanya menawarkan keindahan alam, tetapi juga sebuah petualangan rasa yang tak terlupakan. Dan sekarang hadir di layar Anda, Yuk Makan di Kepri, program TV yang akan membawa Anda dalam petualangan kuliner tiada tara. Temui para koki lokal yang berbagi resep rahasia dan cerita di balik setiap hidangan. Jangan lewatkan kesempatan untuk merasakan sensasi kuliner terbaik Kepulauan Riau.
Saksikan program Yuk Makan di Kepri untuk mengetahui keanekaragaman wisata kuliner yang ada di Kepulauan Riau hanya di Batam TV. Yuk Makan di Kepri, sedap betul.
Dapatkan petualangan kuliner Anda di Yuk Makan di Kepri setiap hari di Batam Televisi. Yuk Makan di Kepri, sedap betul.
Pemirsa Batam TV masih di program Dialog Khusus Pariwisata, masih membahas mengenai potensi wisatawan dari aktivitas klub Yacht Dunia, dan masih dengan narasumber kita Sune dan juga Yakob, kedua warga negara Denmark yang sedang berlabuh di Nusa Point Marina Resort. Okay, so Sune and Yakob, we've been talking about your experience to Raja Ampat and also Lombok and of course Riau Islands. I just wonder about the weather in Indonesia. Do you think it's a good weather for every sailorman, for every sailor to sail in Indonesian ocean?
So I would say yes, but it's not that easy just to say yes, because so if you sail a sailboat, there's regards bad weather and rough seas, it's pretty safe in Indonesia, because the way Indonesia is as a country, it's like a lot of small islands, so it's protected by land. So when you say protected by land, there's no room for like big waves to build up and so on. So you can have what we call squalls. So like this weather phenomenon where suddenly you can see like a black cloud coming out on the horizon, and like in 5 minutes it's just that the wind just blowing very fast, and then the rain comes and then it stops. Like as it comes very fast, but it ends very fast. So just need to be aware of those. And I would say actually as a sailor, sometimes we are lacking wind. So it's like too mellow wind, like too little wind, because we can't set sails. And as a sailing boat, we want to have our sails up, so it's the proper way of sailing and the most enjoyable way of sailing. And also, you don't spend money on diesel. It's like it's the natural way of just moving from one place to another just by using the wind. But yes, in general, it's a good place to sail, and it's a safe and easy place to sail. So you can meet some much rougher seas and higher waves when you sail out in the oceans, Indian Ocean or Pacific Ocean. Yeah.
Nice. So, what about the how to say it? Like, you've been to so many places, and you say the bad weather or the high wave. What about in Indonesia? Have you ever experienced the most difficult situation that you have to face? Maybe not Indonesia, but maybe in other oceans. Do you have any experience that makes you feel like, okay, now we're in trouble?
I guess funny to say that actually, because when we were just sailing here from Anambas to Batam, we were going against the wind, like the whole trip. We were going like this maybe, and the wind was also going like this. So, and when we sail against the wind, both you get pushed this way, and the current was also going this way. So we were sailing very slowly, and we couldn't set sail because we were against the wind. So, and the waves were coming, and because my boat is a bit heavy in the front, at the bow, so we were like going this, and then the nose was rubbing into the water and lifting water up on the deck. And that's okay, sailboats do that, it's okay, water on the deck is okay, but we had a bit of a leakage, one hole in our boat, not a hole, but you know, yeah, so we had some water coming in from the deck and down, and suddenly it just went quick, and we just had water rising in the boat, like to here. So we have the floor, you can take it off, and then underneath the storage. So the storage was filled up with water, and then the floor started like flowing up and floating. So it was a bit of a shock to wake up to, and like, oh shit, we have to do something now. We just started pouring water out, and we have like pumps just pumping water out. It was a hectic situation, but it was okay. It wasn't like, there was never any panic. It was just, everyone knew, okay, we have to do something about this now, and we got things done, and within 5-10 minutes we had the water level not rising anymore, and slowly we got the water down and emptied the compartment that was filled with water, and we emptied that, and then no more water was going into the boat, and then we were just good. But situations like that, they occur, and you have sometimes, like, a boat is always moving, so things break, and always on a sailboat things will break. So that's just the way it is.
All right. So what about you, Sude? Any bad experience?
Not like that one. I think we've had some times where we've been for anchor, and there's been a lot of wind. So, well, I haven't slept all night because I'm just like afraid that the anchor is gonna go up and we're gonna drift.
The gearbox.
Oh yes. Oh yes. My gearbox. That was kind of gnarly. We were in Thailand doing a sail into like a harbor, and there was like ferries crossing, and all of a sudden my gearbox stopped working. So I had no gear. I couldn't go front, and there was a lot of current pushing me, so I couldn't back the boat. And I was just calling over Jacob. My gear is not working. Can you come and help me? Because he can put his dinghy in the water, put it on the side of my boat, and I can use his small boat as my engine, really. And it was like, yeah, just give me 5 minutes or something. The ferries were like crossing me, honking at me, and they were like fishing stakes. I was drifting into the fishing stake. I was like, no, Jacob, now. come now. And you came and rescued me, which was lovely. But that was kind of sketchy, I think. And it's really hard getting spare parts for my engine or my gearbox here in Asia in general. So I spent a month, I think, with no gear. So Jacob was really kind and he dragged me along with his boat, and yeah, I was engine-less basically. It was cozy though, but it's not that nice not being able to sail forwards. No, that's a function I really like when it's working. So yeah, I have a gearbox that's working now. It's brand new, it's perfect, I love it. It's not gonna break.
Oh, thank God, and thank Jacob.
Yes, thank you.
That's the beauty of sailing two boats together, because we can always help each other. If something goes wrong, we're there for each other. Yeah.
What about the plan B? I mean, every time you go for sailing, you must have a plan. But when something happens, you always come up with plan B or plan C, I don't know.
Yeah, so in general, if we're doing longer sails, we have already planned like a plan A, plan B, plan C. So if the bad weather comes, we're like, okay, we know this anchorage is close by. We call them like emergency anchorage places. So we know, okay, if this bad, we go to emergency anchorage number 1. And we go there and seek cover until the weather is good again, and then we can go further. But in general, it's not that bad with the weather. And if something that we didn't see coming happens, we take it from there. It's like, yes, then you gotta improvise and what's the best thing in this situation, and yeah. And we have each other also to help with that.
Wow, wonderful. Well, again, so talking about plans, for the longer sailing, then you will have several plans. Do you think all of these sailormen, when they want to sail to Indonesia, they have to come up with all of those plans? Because I don't know, maybe like you mentioned before, you go against the winds, or I don't know, something wrong with your gear. Do these sailormen have to have backup plans?
I think it's really important. Yeah, they have to make a plan. So also like where you want to sail, because there are like different areas with like some good water, but there could also be like a patch of shallow water all of a sudden in the middle of the sea. So you kind of have to plan your route so to make sure you're sailing the best possible path. And you can also plan it compared to wind, if you want wind in your sails, and spare your engine a bit. So it's really important to plan your route and just make sure that it's a safe route, really. And you can do plan B, C, D if it's a longer trip, just to be safe. So you have a plan if something goes wrong. It's always nice like having a plan in the back of the head, so you don't have to think about that if something goes wrong. So yeah, I would say planning is really essential.
Yeah, so yeah, just as a sailor, the preparation is key, and it's very important just to be prepared for as much as possible. So always have like extra spare parts for things that could go wrong, so you can exchange, or as we always have pumps ready. If water is coming in, we can pump water out, and like, so rather be too well prepared. You can't be too well prepared, but always aim for being very well prepared, so that you are ready for almost every situation, or best suited as you can for every situation that could occur. Yeah.
I see. So for months from January to December, do you have any suggestion which months do you think perfect for the sailormen to go sailing in Indonesian Ocean?
Well, I would just really recommend doing it in the dry season, because the race season is fine for sailing, but you just have to make sure your boat is watertight. I have 2 leaking windows on my boat, and it's in the cabins where the crew sleeps. So if we get a lot of rain, they get wet. Something I'm trying to fix, but yeah, it's always nice not sailing in constant rain. So I would like stay shy of the rain season. And yeah, sail in the dry season, but like you can also basically sail with the season compared to where you're sailing in Indonesia. But like mostly the weather here is wind-wise, kind of the same all around the year. The wind just shifts from one direction to another. You just have to take that into account, and then you're good.
All right, Jacob and Sune. So, from your perspective as foreigners who come sailing to Indonesia, what do you think about these sailormen who wants to sail to Indonesia? How big the opportunity for them to feel attractive to go sailing to Indonesia? Is it very attractive or just attractive, less attractive? What do you think from your point of view?
That's a hard question because we have our opinions and we talk to some people, but usually there are people sailing in Indonesia already, so I don't know about that many people sailing around the world, but I think it's very much when you sail in Southeast Asia, Indonesia is one of the places you go. It's one of the popular places to go and to sail. But it's a different area, so there's a long way from Indonesia to the Caribbean. It's two different things. So, but I think in general we meet a lot of Australians sailing here in Indonesia, and that's also because of geography. It's so close. So that so I think in general Indonesia has a very good reputation for sailors and between sailors as a good country to sail in. I would say that in general.
Okay, wow. All right, so let's go back to the topic when you talk about the crew on your sail yacht. I just wonder, is there any term and condition if someone wants to become your crew? Is there any terms and condition that they have to accomplish?
Well, so to become a crew, you apply. So you write a little bit about yourself, send a picture, and then we'll read it, and then based on our first opinion, really, we see if that person is a good fit for the boat. Because you don't need to have any experience or whatever to come sailing with us. Because we would love to learn our crew how to sail. That's one of the best parts about it. So, and a lot of people have never been on a boat before, and then they choose to be with us for 4 months, and most of the time they love it, so it's really good. But yeah, there's no specific thing they have to do. It's just have the right personality and be excited.
Well, I have to ask you these questions because what you shared is very inspiring. So, of course, pemirsa Batam TV juga akan maybe consider untuk apply jadi kru sail yacht. So if this young Indonesian wants to join as a crew for any sail yacht, so they have this, new things, new insights. Well, as a sailorman, I just wonder if you guys have a quote that you love to share to pemirsa Batam TV, to the viewers. Any specific quote, or do you create your own quote? I don't know, somewhere from your reading.
That's a good question.
That's a really good one.
Go sailing. It's lovely. It's the best feeling of freedom. You can go wherever you want, and as long as you're open-minded and have respect for the conditions and the ship and have respect for the countries and people you meet, they will have respect for you and you will be greeted as you greet them. So it's I don't know.
No, it's good. But also just respect the ocean.
Respect
the ocean is our home, and if you're sailing, the ocean is your home. So you want to make sure it's clean, healthy, and just respect the ocean, really, because the ocean is bigger than us. So if we respect it, it should be fine. If we don't, things can go really badly.
Wow, that's a very nice quote from both of you. So I just wonder, maybe since our time is almost ending, I just wonder if you have something else that you want to share to pemirsa Batam TV.
I have to think. Something I want to share. Well, I would just like to say thank you for bringing us aboard. It was really a good experience.
Very, yeah.
Love coming out with our stories and talking about the life we love, and hopefully we inspire someone to go sailing.
All right, what about you, Jacob?
Yeah, it's just I'm glad to be here as soon as, and also if just one kid or person out there in Indonesia sees this and they're like, I would like to go sailing, then it's totally worth it, and it's amazing because we really love what we do, and sailing is one of our biggest passions, and I think it's something for almost everyone. So more people should do it and like go out there and try and sail, and it could be a small boat, big boat, everything.
All right, so thank you so much. It's an honor to listen your perspective as a sailorman. It's really great to have you in our studio, really. All right, okay. Pemirsa Batam TV, demikian tadi dialog khusus pariwisata bersama dua orang kapten Yacht berasal dari Denmark, Sune dan juga Jacob. So thank you so much one more time to you, gentlemen, for coming to our studio. Pemirsa Batam TV, sampai berjumpa kembali di program dialog khusus pariwisata selanjutnya. Pada akhirnya saya Pungki Inggoro pamit undur diri dari hadapan Anda. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sampai jumpa.